Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Dragon Ball Nation. Now today we're going to be talking about the Dragon Ball Super Manga and the quality, and not really the quality, but the current state of the manga, how it's doing right now, and kind of how we want to see it go in the future. And with me, I'm joined by...
Hey guys, it's Mike here from Laughing Stock Media.
Guys, what's up? Welcome back to Geekdom 101.
Yeah, thanks, Daddy. Yeah, but today we're going to be talking about the current state of the manga. And I'm not going to sit here and say the manga's bad or the quality's bad.
Taro's artwork is fantastic in that manga.
It's fantastic. There's nothing really wrong with the storytelling. There's definitely some differences between the anime and the manga. But, and I know Geekdom can elaborate on this, the manga is really mainly being used as a promotional device for the anime. And this, I think it was the chapter before this one is where it started falling behind the anime, actually, instead of being quite a good amount ahead of it. So now at this point, it's almost like, it's almost redundant to even look at the mangas. It's not even really a good promotional device for the anime anymore. It's just kind of like, okay, well, let's just go retread the same stuff that we saw and see what's, slightly different about it or what's tweaked. Because with this most recent manga, if you haven't read it or if you haven't been keeping up with Super, I don't know what you're doing in this video, first of all. But the most recent manga we've gotten, chapter 11, I believe, ends off with Vegeta about to face off with Kaba. That was quite a few episodes ago, and Big D, what do you think of all this? Because I think that they really need to figure out a way to fix this, whether it's time skip or maybe get these mangas out faster, but right now it's almost redundant to check these out. They're not bad.
Well, let's go back to before we talk about this, to classic Dragon Ball. So the way it worked back in the day, just so everybody understands, is that Toriyama was publishing Dragon Ball weekly. It wasn't monthly, it was weekly. In Weekly Shonen Jump, starting in 1984. And what happened was that he got the rights, or Toei asked for the rights to animate the series, and so the series began production right around, I believe it was chapter 49 or 50 of the manga was out. So about a year in or so, almost a year. And what happened was, there were times where the anime would catch up to the manga. In other words, the animators were working so fast and so hard that they actually were able to catch up to the story Toriyama was trying to tell. And that's where filler came in. And those of you who are fans of Naruto and One Piece, especially Naruto, you know all about the pros and mostly cons of filler in that series. And if you know Dragon Ball Z, you know about Garlic Jr. and Gohan's training and the fake Namek and, Paikuhan and all that. That's all filler. Well, with Super, it's different. With Super, the way it works is that Toriyama is submitting a manuscript with bullet points to Toei and to Toyotaro. And what they do is they essentially take that manuscript, take those bullet points, ask them whatever questions they may have about the story, then they go and they separately produce the same story. Which is why you'll see some similarities in Toyotaro's manga and some liberties taken versus the anime, which does stuff differently. So, we've come to a crossroads now, because now the problem is that, and we kind of were wondering what was going to happen or not, the anime has passed the manga, which is what you're talking about. And when they first started doing the manga, because it's monthly, not weekly, monthly, it became harder and harder to, keep up with the anime. Because at first, what they tried to do and what they did was they skipped the Resurrection F arc because Toyotaro had already done the Resurrection F adaptation manga as a promotional vehicle. Now, some of you are wondering, why are they even doing a Super manga? The Super manga's original intention was as a promotional vehicle to get you hyped up for Dragon Ball Super the anime. So you would have spoilers in there, like we found out about Zuno, we found out about Champa and Vados, we found out about the Universe 6 fighters all through the original Toyotaro manga before the anime was actually airing. Well, now...
Not to mention, manga is very, very popular in Japan.
Yeah. Of course.
Extremely.
Yeah, and so is V-Jump. V-Jump is a very popular magazine. It's a monthly magazine that you get with video games, toys. It's not really manga, but the Dragon Ball manga is in there. But yeah, so pretty much what's going on now is the anime has pretty much flown past the manga. So now we're in a bit of a conundrum because we're going to have chapters coming out now, starting with chapter 10 and 11 that are behind the anime. We already know the results. It's not going to be as hype as it was before when the anime was behind the manga. So then the question becomes, should we even, I covered the manga. a lot of our contemporaries, like Rhyme Style, a lot of them did not even bother covering the manga at this point because the story's already been told, but I wanted to cover it because I wanted to be consistent. So now the question is, do people really care about reading the manga? Leave your comments down below, actually. I want to know, do you still care about reading the manga, or is it one of those things where since the manga's dragging behind, it doesn't really matter to you anymore? That's the real question.
Yeah, I mean, like, we both, I'm not sure about Mike, but we both are, still, telling people about the mangas, but it's very difficult. It turns into like a 3-minute video of just recapping shit we've already seen, really. And they really need to do something to, whether it's a time skip or because by the end of the next manga, I'm pretty sure the next manga comes out, 12, most likely will probably leave off with Goku facing off against Hit. And at that point in the anime, we're going to be well past that and do like a new arc most likely. But Mike, I don't know if you want to add anything to what Danny said or give your own thoughts on this, but what do you have to say?
Well, I am in the video, so of course I want to add
That's
my
probably
thoughts.
true.
But yes, the thing is I do, in fact, still cover the manga because the manga is something separate, so I feel the need to, especially since it's only once a month, I feel the need to talk about it because there is differences. It is a different take and interpretation of what Toriyama has given Toei and Toyotaro, and the fact of the matter is that I feel like, to expand upon what Danny had just been talking about, one of the issues I feel that people are facing that you had mentioned yourself, Josh, is similar fatigue or similar kind of foreknowledge like we had with the Battle of Gods arc and the Resurrection F arc, because the fact that we've already seen this before, so naturally, concordant to that, we're going to be seeing the same thing over again, so our expectations are going to be, absolute. Now, of course, there are differences, like, for example, when Vegeta was eliminated in the fight versus Vegeta, he was sent into a hole in the middle of the ring with a little normal blast. And with Frost was still taking some of Vegeta's attacks before Vegeta ki-eyed him out of the ring rather than, one punch and knocked him into Botamo.
Yeah, but do you think that those differences are worth, checking out for the average fan, in your opinion? I'm not saying I still check them out, but the average fan.
No.
Not the casual, but the semi-hardcore, the ones that really are just watching the anime now and not the manga. You know what I mean?
Well, myself personally, I can only really speak for myself because it's hard to put myself in other people's shoes because I'm so ingrained in this, in the trenches like World War I, inside the foxhole. But, for me personally, I'm a completionist, so I want to read everything, I want to read and see and, everything that has to do with the series, whether or not I can understand what language it's in or not. And I feel like, yes, for people, I feel like it's worth checking out just so you could see the little artistic differences and liberties taken. But overall, I feel like there are many changes they need to take. For example, if they're going to be behind the manga or the anime, they need the manga to be expanded. So basically, they could, Toyotaro has a lot more room to breathe. He doesn't have to shove several fights into one chapter every single chapter, which takes away some of the dramatic flair and the impact of events. Like when Goku is defeated, automatically they go on to the next thing in the same chapters, whereas in the actual anime, the episode ended there and everyone lost their minds, you know what I mean? Because Goku lost in the first round. But the fact of the matter is, I feel like they need to make it longer or release it more regularly. Now, that might be harder on Toyotaro, which I feel like, making it longer would be beneficial, but there's no reason in my eyes that they're not making it longer except for the fact that they just feel this should be strictly for promotional material. But if that's the case, why not do another time skip? I don't understand the point of what's going on right now.
That's the big problem because it is, like we talked about, it is a big part to be a promotional device. And at this point, it's not promoting anything.
It's failing in that effort.
You have billboards in, Japan or wherever, when they were advertised, they had like Goku and Hit at the front. They didn't say that they were fighting, didn't say they were fighting or didn't have them fighting, but it was pretty heavily implied they were going to face off on like those posters a while ago.
Yeah.
At this point, you got posters that are pretty much promoting the anime more than the actual manga is, so they need to do something. I don't know how realistic that situation is going to be. Again, just so people know, we realize that it's only been 2 chapters where they've been behind. But at this point, they're pretty behind. They're going to need to do something. And I don't think they're going to just completely skip out on the whole Hit thing.
They almost can't. They can't skip it.
No, especially because it's not even over yet. By time, we got what? Probably, another 4 or 5 weeks before this comes out again, another manga. At that point, we're going to be well into the next arc. So they got to do something, whether that is to skip over the beginning of the next arc, which seems to, from what titles we have, if people haven't heard of them, be warned. There's some stuff going. It doesn't look like it's anything too major besides with that water. What it was like the super water that we got here. I don't remember what it's called, but there's some things there. I think there's potential to skip around with its next upcoming arc. Hopefully they can do that. Otherwise, release the mangas more frequently, make them longer. Those are the only things I can see happening. I know Mike already talked about this. Danny, did you really talk about how you think they can shorten this or fix the problem?
Only two solutions. You skip some stuff and you heavily abridge the fights, which is going to be bad. That's a problem.
That's
or
a problem. Don't do that.
If they go weekly, they're going to have to change the whole thing because it won't even be in V-Jump anymore. It really is like weird.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I think that this next arc's an opportunity to skip around, to really catch up, hopefully. Otherwise, this manga is becoming pretty redundant. We're still going to look at it. I mean, we have to, pretty much. Even if we don't, maybe want to, we still should cover it. But for you guys, the people watching this video, what do you think about us? What do you think can happen to rectifies, and what do you think of the current state of the manga? Do you still like reading it a lot, or do you think it's kind of redundant at this point? Let me know your thoughts down below. Guys, you got anything else to say?
No, man. I mean, it sucks because the manga's not getting as much attention as it should, and I really love Toyotaro's work. And for a long time, the manga, the manga's been better for a long time, but now it's starting to be a little bit different. Maybe because it's fresher or less fresh.
Once it's retreading steps, just like the anime was. People start to not like it as much. Now that the anime is the only one that's getting all the new stuff.
Well, the anime also stepped its game up in significant fashion.
Yes, the anime's got better writing and better animation too. So yeah, it's. I hope that doesn't become a thing in the past because Toyotaro deserves as many eyeballs as possible on his work. The way.
Right, obviously excluding AF. But Mike, do you have anything else to say?
I just think he's really good at actually drawing what he puts out. He's very good at illustrations, but when you condense everything to such an extreme and when you rush everything out, ultimately it's kind of, for not.
Yeah, but I guess that's pretty much it for today, guys. Again, let me know your thoughts down below, and do not forget to check out Mike from Laughingstock Media and Geekdom 101, aka Big D or Daddy, as he likes to be called now. Linked down below. Bro. Excellent Dragon Ball content on there, even better than myself. So check them out. Link down below. Go do that now. But thank you.
Well, one of them. I mean,
realistically, none of them. I gotta make you guys feel better somehow. But go check them out down below. And thank you guys for watching this video. And as always, I'll catch you later.